Another one. I see KR here. Awesome. Nice to see you, my brother. I know this was not a scheduled one, but I did ask the community. I see SM here. Also, my brother. Nice to see you. Salam, my brother. And walaikum assalam to you too. Right. Um, Look, I'm looking at the market, right? And there are things I'm seeing here that doesn't make sense, right? Honestly, doesn't make sense. Now, I'm not going to focus too much on the chat. So if you guys are here, I'll say hi. Absolutely fine. If I do see any funny business like we had yesterday where we had a bunch of trolls, um, we don't, I'm going to ignore that, right? Anyway, so I'm going to be more professional, let's just say, because these are important information which I've tried to relay yesterday as well. So I'm going to try and relay this today, and hopefully people understand what I was going on about yesterday. So SM says from Dubai. So I understand SM is Bobby. So nice to, well, Dubai, whatever time. I think it's like 6 hour, 8 hour difference there. We'll catch up on that anyway. So we'll have a little conversation. Why not? So let's talk about the market first, right? I think a lot of people are here for that, or will be here for that. So let's get that out of the way and then see where things go. So yesterday we were looking at the market, and the total market cap was around $3.2 trillion, if I remember. And then like last couple of days I've been mentioning, I said, look, even if the Faisal's here, also my brother. Faisal's the reason why I'm here. Honestly, he said, you know what, he's going to kill some time. So Faisal wants to kill some time, and I thought, you know what, I'll get some information out there. I see Bubble here, also my brother. Nice to see you. Exciting times. It is. And it potentially could be, as I've mentioned on the last few videos, right? So let's talk about this and see what kind of opportunities this could bring to us, right? In the altcoins and all sorts of other stuff. Like, we want to talk about this. So one of the things that we talked about was if BTC bleeds out, right? And this was based on the candle that we would have had last week. So last week, if we had a candle close, where we went to 99k, if we closed at 90k, it wouldn't have affected the market at all because the momentum would have been up. But because we closed that candle, we ended up getting a red candle this week, right? So it's the second day in the week, and we've already, we're bleeding out. So bleeding out, obviously I've mentioned certain numbers. Now these numbers don't really matter, right? However, the only number that matters to us right now is around the 86 to 88k. So there is a bit of a range. Around that range, if we can hold that as a support, it should be fine. Now, I want to go back into the total market cap. So the total market cap, I did mention that we were at 3.2 something trillion dollars, and it would be okay for us to even go to $3 trillion, right? Today, at some stage, we did go close to $3 trillion. I think it was like 303 or 304, something like this, right? Something silly. But the market recovered, reacted quite well, which is really, really nice, right? To see that. BTC dipped. I think it went close to the 90, right? It didn't go past the 90, but it did go close to the 90. Again, guys, sometimes, when we're talking about numbers, especially when I'm dropping numbers out there, you notice I'm very specific about my numbers. I won't say between this number and that number. I don't have a variation. Is it this or that, right? So things are looking like they do want to go south. Let's be honest about it, especially with BTC and a few of the altcoins that have moved along with BTC. So we've had some coins who have done technical like a 1x already, right? So since BTC started moving, there are some coins which were sitting at half the valuation of where they are right now. So those coins have also reacted the same way as BTC and are kind of bleeding out a little bit heavier. But I've mentioned this before as well. Whenever BTC dumps by 1%, other coins start to dump by 4, 5%, 6%, whatever, something stupid, right? So that's happening. Now, testing out certain areas, that's absolutely fine by us, right? And just to let you guys know, my name is Sham. This is 0xfiles. If you are here for the first time, I tend to talk about crypto, and the people you see on the chat, if you are seeing them, then these guys are my most loyal and great friends who I come on live for. Right, so just to make this clear to everybody, so the names I'm mentioning, Bubble, KR, Faisal, all of these guys are real people in the real world who I get to talk to every other day. So my videos are usually intended for these guys, and if you are here benefiting from it, why not? So Now that's out of the way, right? If you're here for the first time as well, do consider liking, hitting that subscribe if you want to. If you don't, it's fine, not a problem. But do hit that thumbs up, so at least the algorithms can kick off and the videos can get a little bit more exposure. We are on planning to get to about 10k subscribers ASAP. So let's see what happens, right? Let's see what happens. Now that's out of the way. So BTC currently sitting at 3.11 trillion dollars. It's okay. I'm not too concerned. Sorry, the total market cap sitting at $3.11 trillion. Not too concerned. BTC's bounced back to 93k right now as I'm speaking. Bounce back to 93k again. I'm not too bothered because wherever we close is the number we want to focus on, right? Whether we close low or whether we close high, that's the number we want to focus on. Like the other day when we went to 99k, I wasn't too fussed about it because it doesn't really matter unless we close there. It doesn't matter. So I've mentioned this to the community as well. So things are looking positive. However, when I'm looking at the altcoins right now with BTC showing this slight positiveness, right? BTC showing us that it's at 93k. It wants to, the momentum is moving back up again, especially on the 12-hour stochastic, especially on the 24-hour stochastic. It's showing a complete reset and it wants to start pumping back up again. I see altcoins start to move, and this is what I was talking about. If BTC can bleed out to a certain level and stabilize, altcoins have an opportunity to start moving up, right? And this could be that opportunity, right? This could actually be that opportunity. But when I look at a greater time, right? So when I'm looking at a 3 day, 5 days, right? 1 week, things are different. So we are still seeing some bloody signs. Hence why I have advised many people today in the morning. I said, guys, if you are buying alts, whatever, yes, we want to buy the dips, right? This is an opportunity to buy the dip, but your intention should be to DCA. So dollar cost average in to the alts or whatever you want to buy, because this could potentially start bleeding even more until we settle down. So that's the reason, because if you're going to buy today, bought the dip, great, and then it bleeds out tomorrow, you might turn around and say to me, Sham, you said buy the dip and we're bleeding even more. I don't want to be in that position. So I'd rather advise you the correct way and say, guys, your intention should be to DCA, dollar cost average in. And I believe Batman asked me that question earlier on, and Batman's not here. So that's what it is. We have to have a particular type of a mindset when we're re-entering or doing something. I hate this, the noise that this thing is making. So we have to have a particular type of a mindset, right? The mindset is very simple. There's a time when we buy the dip and we're all excited. Yeah, Batman, you know, Batman, come on, he's your mate. SM is your mate, bro. I believe so. Anyway, I could be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, we got Batman on our Discord. And we've got Silent Sweep, and we've got Mr. C, right? We're just missing Mr. Fish. Right, anyway. So, I think, you know, that's what I mentioned. Like, for me, the way I've mentioned it is, look, I want you to have the right mindset. If we're going to buy something, that is ifty, isn't it? That is ifty, yeah, there you go. So, yeah, if we buy something, and we bought the dip, right, then we're expecting it to go back up, right? But if it bleeds even further for the next 2-3 days, you might turn around and say, well, hold on, we bought the dip and we're bleeding even more. How many more dips are we going to buy? So then we change that terminology, right? And that kind of immediately impacts our emotions in a particular way as well, because whatever's happening right now is psychological. It will affect people psychologically. Market structure wise, we're fine, right? When you look at a greater trend, when you look at the monthly, the 2 weeks, the 1 week, things are fine, right? 1 week we are looking a bit bearish, but we are, the other longer time, the trend lines that we're looking at, they are fine, right? So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Hence why the way I would say, look, if we're going to bleed out, we're going to bleed out. But what we need to do is have a mindset to say, we're going to DCA, we're going to dollar cost average in. We're not buying the dip, we're just dollar cost averaging back in. Because then, you know, your mind is still positive. Of course, when it stops bleeding and when it starts to pump back up again, right, all of a sudden we're going to turn around and we're going to say, right, now we've bought the dip and, you know, we're going to start pumping back up again. So that's what it is, because it's all about mindset, right? Chaos says no money for dip, sorry. All in nuts deep, bro. I know you're completely all in, right? And you're in a lot of meme coins and low market caps, and I respect you for that, because I respect the fact that you've deployed your cashes strategically, because this is your strategy, and I'm not going to say anything bad about that. Every man should have a strategy, right? And KR, I do respect you for that. So your strategy is to find low market cap gems, which you have a freaking list of it, right? Hence why I call you the freaking meme king, right? And that's a compliment, by the way, because we need a meme king. Because I'm probably the only guy who's the most cautious in our group, right? Whereas in everybody else is mostly like, just, I don't know, they're kind of, they filter stuff and they take things aboard. They're not probably doing as much research. I mean, I'm sure a lot of the guys are not doing technical. There's a couple of guys on Discord who do technicals, who have come to me, had some courses and whatnot, and they've done some technicals. They did share technical patterns. I don't know what they're doing right now. Maybe they got a few things wrong, or maybe they're just fed up or whatever. They haven't been at it. But you know what? Practice makes you perfect. So if you have mastered something, if you have learned something, if I have taught you something, and you know, as I said, your practice ground is our community on Discord, where you can go and say whatever, it doesn't matter, right? So that's where you should be. So, but what KR's doing is he's deploying his funds into low cap market coins, right? And his plan is that if this thing pumps, so wherever the market cap is right now, if it goes up 1x 2x, which some of these will, because I mean, when you're looking at them, they're just peanuts right now, so they would eventually start moving, and he could actually make a lot more gain from that. And I respect that, absolutely respect that. There are some guys who have missed some of this stuff, and they've been waiting to buy the dip, right? But you know, buy the dip in the sense that you're DCAing in. That's what I'm saying. So don't do it with the intention that I'm buying the dip, because it might dip even more. Right? That's all it is. At least for a week or two, right? So for the next week or two, I want everybody to be cautious. In fact, for the next week or two, I might not even actually come on live, right? Unless you guys want me to, because most of the time, you know this as well, and all of you guys know this. I tend to tell you what's going to happen in a few days, in a few weeks or whatever, right? I tend to tell you. And you can go back and watch any of the live streams that we did, watch it in order, and you'll see that it's a continuation, right? And you can refer back to that if I've said that it's going to dip, or if I've said it's going to dump, or if I've said it's going to go towards the 90k, right? Well, I would love to see it to go towards the 90k. You can go refer back to that. That's one of the reasons why our tagline for this channel is "The truth is always out there," because the truth is out there, right? I've said certain things before they've happened, and they've happened, and I don't have a freaking crystal ball. All I'm doing is just translating the chart. And when I say I'm translating the chart, right, you're going to hear this, or actually, you know, I'm going to show you. Right, I'm going to show you. So when I'm talking about charts, I'm going to show you this. This is my chart. This is my chart. That's it. Look, that's it. I do not spend time looking at lines and patterns. I'm looking at the price. That's all I'm looking at. Just by looking at this, I'm taking an educated guess. Let's just say freaking educated guess, even though I'm not qualified. But the point is an educated guess on what the market should do based on what kind of percentage we're doing every other day, every other hour, just taking that into account. When things move a particular way, then your expectations should be that it's going to, at some stage, go the opposite direction. That's when I need to jump into the chart and say, okay, right, we've had up. Now we might start coming down. Well, where can we expect it to go, right? So that's what will happen, and this is the kind of stuff that I always look for, right? So when I see the market is green, I'm warning you guys that, guys, expect a bit of red, right? And then when the market is red, I'm like, guys, now's an opportunity. So opportunity, I'll give you a good example of that opportunity. As the market bled out yesterday, remember, I think I said something on Discord. I talked about how I'm planning to redeploy some into some bonk, right? So I'm not plugging anything here. I'm not shilling anything here. I'm just being transparent. You can see the message on Discord. Anybody who wants to see proof is there. I said I might redeploy some of my profits from some of the meme coins. Now, there's been a couple of meme coins who did not perform that well for me. However, originally they did, so I have taken my initial out. So I had some profits remaining in there, and there wasn't much, right? It wasn't much, and they will keep on bleeding out. I was like, you know what? Sorry, I might as well jump into bonk, right? Because I think bonk has an opportunity to start moving. So I went and bought some bonk, right? Don't worry, I didn't pump too much, right? So I bought some bonk. And I'm looking at it and it's bleeding, and I'm thinking, even today, I'm thinking, okay, it's bled out a little bit more. Should I DCA a little bit more? So even myself, I'm thinking about DCAing, dollar cost averaging it in a little bit more, right? Maybe another half a Solana or so, whatever, right? Just to kind of top up what I've already got, because I managed to pick up a nice balance from the profit money that I had. And now, if anything I deploy would be from my own pocket. So I might want to DCA back in, right? And get a few more bonk, because bonk hasn't done anything. Bonk hasn't done anything. So that's an opportunity I'm looking for, right? And I think a lot of you guys are in that same position, where if there is something that you haven't actually picked up before, or maybe you hold, or maybe you want a dollar cost averaging, now might be a good chance. Of course, this is not a financial advice. You do whatever you want to do. But it might be a good opportunity to go back into something. SM says, let me check. Bro, this may be an opportunity for many coins that you're looking at, that you wanted to buy, but you couldn't. It's just left you a little bit, or maybe you were waiting for a pullback. This could be the one. You know what I mean? This could be the one. You're saying you want to sell some GTA. Up to you, right? I'm not advising anybody here. I'm not saying sell this and that. All I'm saying is my strategy. So what I've done is I bought a whole bunch of meme coins recently. And in fact, I think a few of them was actually even suggested by KR. So I bought a whole bunch of them. It pumped. We did like 500% on one of them. For example, one of the KR one, I did 500%. Another one, we did like 1200%, 1300%, something silly. So I've taken the initial out, I've taken the profit out, and then I left a little percentage, like, 10% of whatever I didn't want. I just left it there. And then I saw that kind of bleed out a little bit, right? I was like, right, if it bleeds out even further, then I might be able to buy it cheaper. But maybe it's a good idea, because I'm already thinking about getting some more bonk. And by the way, complete transparency, I hold bonk from when it originally launched. So I've been holding since then, right? So I'm like bonk, SHIB, what's that called? Another one, Pepe, and this and that. So there's a whole bunch of them. I've been holding them from since the beginning. So you know what I mean? And not much, by the way, guys. It's like, $100, like $50, $100, something stupid like this, which is worth a lot more now, to be honest, right? So of course it's worth a lot more, but it's not in its millions or anything like this, right? Let's just be honest about it. And I have taken my initial investment out. I have taken profits out already, and I've left a little bit. So that's what I'm saying. So similar way, I'm holding bonk already, and I've been thinking about redeploying into bonk, because it's one of those ones that hasn't done anything. It is a freaking meme. It's on multiple blockchains. And I think the army might just kick off at some stage. Plus, what you got to notice is bonk has institutional backing, right? Let's just put it this way. Bonk wasn't just your random meme coin just came about from nowhere. Bonk had a lot of institutional investors behind it, VCs and whatnot, right? Which immediately to me means if it hasn't moved, there's going to be a campaign very soon, and it's going to start pumping. So I wanted to redeploy. I wanted to go in and get some more. So I got some more. And now I might, the market's bleeding out. I'm going to wait and see for the next 1 or 2 days. If it bleeds out even further, well, I'm going to DCA back in, right? So that's my strategy, but that's only one coin I'm talking about here. But there are plenty out there that you may have missed, and this could be an opportunity. But remember, mindset matters, because your mindset will reflect, and your emotions will reflect with that as well. Because if you think you're buying the dip and it dips even more, then you might feel a bit down and a bit disappointed. So don't have that disappointment. Just say, okay, I'm going to dollar cost average in. Things change for you. So yeah, other than that, look, the market's looking good so far, right? But I do think for the next 1 or 2 weeks, we have to be extra cautious, just because how the weekly RSI and stochastic RSI are indicating slight bearishness. But we could easily forget all of that and start pumping again, as the emotions, become positive. So let's see what it does. Let's see how the market works. I am seeing a lot of notifications come to me from whale alerts, how a lot of BTC and Ethereum are moving back into exchanges, causing a lot of confusion. Nobody knows what's going to happen. We can only make assumptions. There's no truth. We really don't know what's really going to happen. But so far, when I'm seeing other coins start pumping, things look okay, right? Or at least holding strong. For example, XRP holding above 122, 125. That makes me happy. When I see, what's this called? SEI, right? Sorry, I just had to look at the coin. SEI, SEI, holding at 66 cents or 65 cents, held there. That's a positive thing. I look at that when I see, and by the way, I'm mentioning these coins because we have some people who have large holdings there, right? FTM, Phantom doing okay. Yeah, Phantom's doing okay, and it it should do okay. You know what I mean? So if you're holding some Phantom, I hold a little bit of Phantom on one of my Gemini account, but I haven't looked at it because I've had it for a few years. That bag, I've had it for a good few years, like 2018 onwards, so I haven't even looked at it. But it's on my Gemini account. I haven't even logged into that account for God knows how long. So I know it's there anyway. So if it's doing good, it's doing good. But that particular stash that I have wasn't intended for me to look at or anything like this. It's there for a long time. If it does anything, it does anything. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So let's see what it does. But as I'm saying, like some of these coins, like, you know, that I'm mentioning are coins that people are holding that I know. Right, crypto.com holding at 17 cents. A little bit disappointing. It should have been around 18 cents, but it fell below. Could actually end up being a little bit of a disaster. It could bleed out even more because these are key levels that we're talking about. When you say 18 cents, that's a key level. It needs to stay above that. So only one I'm seeing is Say is kind of now holding fairly strong, and XRP is also holding very strong as well. When I'm looking at Solana at 229 today. It's holding above the 208, which is okay. It got rejected at 260, which is also okay. But there was a bit of a coincidence where when it went to 260 to test it, that's exactly when BTC decided to flip the other way as well. So let's see. What's the key level for Curve? I don't know, but I am going to mention it to you when I look at the chart because I don't want to fiddle with the chart right now. I'll drop it to you on Discord. All right. So yeah, let's see how that works. But you do know how Curve functions, right? So Curve usually does really well when more and more people use the Curve protocol. That's when it works the best. But ultimately, look, it doesn't matter what you're holding, to be honest, especially during this time of the bull market, because we're still in a bull market. The bull run has ended. So let's just be honest about what we're talking about. A bull run could happen in an hour, every 4 hours, every 8 hours, whatever. That's a bull run when it moves upwards, right? A bear run is when it moves downwards. That's all it is, right? The bull market is the one we're still in. So we're still in the bull market. We haven't invalidated anything yet. In order for us to start feeling or seeing signs of weakness of the bull market, right? Where we could start to assume that we might start entering into a bear market, BTC would have to flip to 72k or below. That's what we don't want. So as long as we're above that, we're still in a bull market. Let's just be honest about that. So yeah, bull market's good so far, and I believe that in a bull market you can pick up anything, doesn't matter. I always advise stick to the top ones because they're going to be the best performers because they have most of the spotlight anyway. So, you know, and the other ones are high risk, right? If you're going to go to low caps or unknown coins or something on page 10 of CoinMarketCap, just be cautious because they are higher risk, right? But anything that's on the spotlight already, if you pick up, it doesn't matter. It should pump, right? Because the market's just going to lift itself. Everybody's going to look for that next one, depending on whatever budget. So if someone's got a couple of $100,000 sitting around doing nothing, we can assume they'll probably buy BTC, Ethereum, and all the other expensive ones, right? If someone's got a few thousand, they might want to go and explore and diversify into a few low cap gems, right? Or something even lower, you know what I mean, right? Or something very cheap, like, you know, peanuts. And if someone's just trying to have fun with $50 or $100, they might actually even go buy some meme coins. So think about it that way, right? Every budget, we cater for every budget. Crypto caters for every budget. So you never know which one's going to do what, but ultimately I believe they're all going to pump, right? But I say this, I'm saying this over and over again. I'm going to say this again as well. Make sure to use stop loss. That's your best friend, right? Especially at this stage of the market, stop loss is your best friend. And if you've made 1x, 2x, 3x profit, whatever you've made, and a lot of people are doing that, consider taking your initial investment out. Then the market cannot touch you. Market will not hurt you, right? That's all I'm going to say. So other than that, I'm not going to make this any longer. SM says greed. Be greedy. Of course, you need to be greedy. Come on, bro. We're in the end of the bull market. We have to be greedy, right? We got to be extra greedy. Do you know what I mean, right? But we have to be greedy with limitations. We need to understand our own limitations. If I'm being greedy and I know, for example, the market's going to do something crazy, it's going to dip down next week, for example, and I've got a stash of, like, say, for example, I've got 10K sitting around, right? I don't want to be irresponsibly greedy. So I'm going to be greedy. I'm going to buy 20 times more coins or 10 times more or whatever, maybe 10% more coins than I would have bought when it was green. I'm greedy now, right? I'm really greedy because I want to get in and I want to get 10% more, 20% more, whatever, right? Of this particular coin. And I know that when on the way up, when it recovers, I'm going to make more money, right? But I've got to do it with responsibility. You cannot be irresponsible, right? So think about that. Chaos says, bro, I've realized when you try to be too clever in crypto, it doesn't work out like you try to be too logical. Sometimes it's the thick ones make the most money. It's true. But you see, what is thick? You see, this is the problem. Some people think someone's thick, right? For investing into, just for the sake of this video, let's say Dogecoin, or investing into something, whatever. Are they really thick? Maybe they don't have to be thick. Maybe they don't even have to be clever. Maybe it goes back to the part what I said about the budget. It's got to do with the budget. How much do you have to burn? You've got 100,000, a couple of 100,000, you pick on something big. You're in the middle ground. You've got a few $1,000s. You're going to pick on something in the middle ground. And if you've only got a couple of $100 and you're following Twitter and this and that, maybe you're done for following Twitter or x.com or some social media or some other guy, some promoter. Yeah, maybe you're done for following them. But if everyone's jumping on board, well, that's a hype. Are you really dumb? And are you really clever? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. I think it ultimately depends on your budget. So yes, some people throwing money at some meme coin, turning it into $1 million, turning it into a couple of $100,000, and it's happened. We have members in our group where this has happened. So if this has happened, right, are they dumb? I don't think they're dumb, right? But are they smart? I don't think they're smart either. They just got extremely lucky, right? Because that's what it is. You're taking a chance. It's not calculated. There's no guarantee Bitcoin today, or no guarantee any coin that you're looking at is going to stay at that same price that you're looking at today, right? That's all I'm going to say. There's no guarantee Bitcoin is going to be, right, today what? Right now, it's at $93,300 right now. There is absolutely zero guarantee that it's going to stay at that price. There's nothing saying it can't go to $1. So if someone comes in and starts to short BTC, maybe he was intending to short it for $1,000 or $2,000, and BTC bleeds out to $1, and this guy now makes all that money, isn't it dumb luck? Or maybe he was clever. You never know. You know what I mean? So I don't think we should talk about people like being dumb or anything like this. It doesn't matter. It totally depends on your budget and your strategy. You know what I mean? I mean, as I said, your strategy is quite good, and I respect that, right? And I think that one or two of those could pop, and if they do, you could make a shit ton of money. Right, what's the time? I've got to look at the time because I've got 10 more minutes and then I'm going to go. So within that time, we're going to say whatever, and then I'm going to shoot off because I have to get somewhere. I have to get on the motorway, and I've got like an hour and a half drive. So if there's anything else you guys want to talk about. But as I said, look, guys, these are opportunities that we're looking in the market. And the market has an opportunity to also shine now as well. While BTC is kind of deciding what it needs to do, I think the market needs to disconnect. Market needs to disconnect itself from BTC so BTC can go to hell. No one needs to talk about BTC anymore. Let's not focus on BTC anymore and start focusing on the altcoins, right? And start pumping those altcoins, because so far, altcoins, a lot of them have shown strength. Right, they have definitely, they are showing us massive strength, right? They're like, okay, we've gone above certain levels, we've created key support zones, and BTC can bleed out, we're going to hold on to it. And I'm seeing that, and that impresses me, right? These altcoins are impressing me even more, to the point where I'm tempted, right? I'm like, maybe I want to dip my fingers in a few more, because I believe that these coins are proving themselves. And on top of all of that, I'm expecting an altcoin season to come anytime soon. All right. So I am diversified. I'm not over diversified. Similar way as I just said earlier on, it's all about strategy. Each person to their own. And I have my own strategy, but as I said, I'm not going to do anything irresponsible. The only irresponsible thing I have done and I am still doing is trading, right? Leverage trading right now is kind of irresponsible. So that's the only thing I am doing, right? Irresponsibly. Everything else that I'm doing, I'm not being irresponsible. I'm thinking about how much I could afford to lose. And based on that, I'm setting my buys, and what I'm buying and whatnot is based on that. Like, it's like, can I afford to lose 10%? Maybe. If I can't, then I shouldn't be doing it. So that's what I'm saying about responsibility, right? Be responsible. And of course, if I've made a little bit of money, I'm trying to take my initial investment out ASAP. That's me being extra responsible. That's all I'm saying, guys. So other than that, guys, if you are here for the first time, and all of you guys that were here all this time, smash that like button, because you're not setting off the algorithm on fire. Bro, set the algorithm on fire. What's wrong with you? So smash those like buttons. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Consider subscribing at least. This is where you get some raw information, unfiltered, right? Oh, effing blind, I don't give a damn. I'm not too concerned about YouTube striking me. I'm not too concerned about advertisers trying to advertise here, honestly. We're not sponsored by anybody, and I don't need anything off you guys. I'm only here for the friends. That's all it is. So, end of the day, it is what it is. And if you are here after the stream is finished, so this is a live stream, if you have arrived later, let me know in the comments how you feel, right? Are you trading responsibly? Right? Are you going to be extra irresponsible? Are you going to do 100x leverage or something like this? Right? What is your strategy? Actually, I want to know. Tell if you've watched it to the end here, please, let me know in the comments. What is your strategy? What is that one coin you're looking at? Maybe there might be a coin that I'm missing. Maybe there's a gem that I haven't looked at. Right? So let me know in the comments, and then we'll carry on from there. Of course, I'll reply back to all of this. So Faisal says, Sham turning into a content creator with daily live. You love to see it. Faisal, before you came and joined our group, there was a time where I was doing 2-3 lives a day. Would you believe I was doing 2-3 lives a day? But my lives are intentional, right? And I'll explain, right? I have an intention behind them. My intention at that time was to guide everybody, if and when things came up. I thought I'll tell you guys, so you are planning ahead, right? So you know what's going to happen 2 days, 3 days from now. But I did it so much that I was able to tell people what was going to happen 2-3 weeks down the line. And then I realized that I haven't got nothing to talk about. So then I did talk about all sorts of other BS, right? We started talking about all sorts of nonsense, right? But the point is, that's where I got to. Now, I'm doing it with a complete different intent, right? My intent now is to grow the channel. So I'm not going to burn myself, right? I'm not going to do 3 streams a day, which I did before. I'm not going to do that. Instead, what I'm going to do is, if I have a bit of time, I'll come on live, catch up with you guys, have a little conversation, have a little chat, and share it with the world. And if people like what they're hearing or what they're seeing, if they are looking, right, then hopefully they will subscribe, and we could grow to around 10,000 subscribers, because that's the target. And I have a surprise around 10,000 subscribers. I have a little surprise for everybody, but we're going to talk about it when we get there. There's no point talking about anything now, right? So I'm glad. I mean, if you like it, then that's a good thing, right? I'm sure all the people that have viewed it up to now, if they all hit that like button, that will tell me that you guys like the content. And if you if you watched it later or not on the live or whatever, if you're on the live, then smash that like, because that tells me, it gives me a response. It's like, do you guys actually like watching the videos? If I'm not getting the views, then I'm kind of like, okay, maybe they don't like this kind of content, maybe they don't like the videos, maybe they don't want to see me live, you know what I mean, or see me at all. So when I see what you guys are reacting, what you guys are doing on the videos, right, coming here, for example, on the chat, or coming on live, that tells me that you guys want to see me live, right? Which is a good thing. When you're hitting that like button, tells me that you like the video. When you're sharing with other people, and then the subscribers are growing, that also tells me that people want to see. You know what I mean? So this is, for me, this is like my kind of live analytics, right? So it is what it is. But listen, anytime you guys want something, I've mentioned this before as well, if you want me to jump on a live or do some sort of a pre-recorded video, whatever, you tell me. If there is a subject you want me to talk about, There is one or two subjects that I wouldn't talk about, or if I do, I will talk about it in a different way. But believe me, nothing is off limits. I will literally talk about anything. I don't care, right? Because unless we discuss and have a conversation, right? There's a lot of the times people don't understand certain things, religion, culture, background, history, all sorts of other stuff, right? Unless you talk about it, we don't grow knowledge. So I believe that talking about it, we actually expand on our knowledge, right? And, we get to share certain things. Of course, I might end up saying it in a particular way where it will sound like it's my opinion, and it could be my opinion, but there's a big reason behind this, because I don't want to give you somebody else's opinion. I can only react to that, right? I don't want to kind of end up looking like that I believe in something that's out there, because I kind of do, but at the same time, I kind of also think outside the box as well. So I want to definitely give you guys that kind of a thinking, like, what do I think outside the box? So that's what it is. So Faisal says, maybe another video talk about sudden wealth risk management advice for people who acquire wealth inshallah in this run. Yeah, we can talk about that. Yes, sudden wealth, a lot of people come to wealth, and a few people have come to wealth, and it's all about reacting. There's a fun fact, right? Majority of the people who win the lottery haven't kept the money, or have lost the money, let's just put it that way. So yeah, I mean, we can talk about sudden wealth, what happens to people. It's more psychological than anything. So yeah, we'll talk about it. It's not an issue. But other than that, guys, I am going to run late because I want to jump on the motorway. I've got an hour and a half of drive, so I'm going to shoot. It's been an absolute pleasure having you guys here. SM, I will look at Curve, all right? In a few hours, when I get a chance, I'll look at Curve and I'll drop the chart on Discord, so you can have a little look as well what kind of targets we got. So I'll put a bottom level and a top level or something like this, and we'll drop a chart there, so what we're expecting for Curve. But other than that, guys, thank you very much for coming to the show. I'm going to catch you guys on another one very soon. As I said, if you are here for the first time, do consider subscribing. If not, then that's fine. But do consider, please do hit that like button so we can get the algorithm kicking and grow the community. Other than that, I'll see you on another one very soon. Adios, my amigos.